I need you to listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you isn't a theory, it's not a motivational quote, and it's certainly not a coincidence. You didn't find this video by accident. You are the first person in 2,000 years to activate a spiritual gift that has been buried, hidden, and dormant since the time of ancient empires. That sounds dramatic, I know. It sounds impossible. But think about your life for just a second. Think about the chaos, the loneliness, the strange way people have always reacted to you, the feeling that you have been walking through the world that wasn't designed for you. That feeling, that deep, gnawing sense that you are meant for something massive, something that doesn't fit into a normal life. That is the gift trying to wake up. You have been carrying a frequency that humanity hasn't seen in centuries. And the reason your life has been so different, so difficult, the reason betrayal follows you like a shadow, the reason crowds can surround you while loneliness still consumes you, is because ordinary people are not equipped to handle this kind of energy. You are not just a person having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual awakening having a human experience. And I'm risking everything by telling you the truth about who you actually are, because this information is dangerous. Dangerous to the systems that want you to stay asleep. Let me take you back. Think about your childhood. Not the memories you have polished for social media, but the raw, confusing reality of it. While other kids were worried about fitting in, you were asking questions that made adults uncomfortable. You could walk into a room and feel the energy shift. You could sense when someone was lying before they even opened their mouth. You can feel, and you felt emotions so differently, so intensely, that you didn't just feel sad. You absorbed the sadness of the people around you, and that terrified you. Yeah, you didn't know what to do, what it was. So you tried to push it down. You tried to be normal, you tried to shrink your spirit so others would feel comfortable around you. You dimmed your light, your beautiful light, because every room you entered seemed to treat you like a threat or like something they couldn't quite understand. That is the first sign of the gift. It's called spiritual sensitivity. And it's not a curse. It's a survival mechanism. Your soul remembers what your mind has forgotten. It remembers that you are carrying an ancient fire. And that fire attracts storms. But let's look at the evidence. Look at the story of your survival. You should have broken years ago. After everything you've endured, the betrayals, the heartbreaks, the financial collapses, the emotional devastation, the nights you spent trying to calm you down, crying until you had nothing left. You should have given up, but you didn't. There was something inside you, a stubborn, resilient force that refuses to disappear. That wasn't luck, that was preservation. The gift protected you because your mission hadn't become yet. You are living through that divine protection doesn't always look peaceful. Sometimes protection looks like destruction. Sometimes heaven has to remove people, opportunities, and relationships, of course, from your life because they would poison your destiny. The doors that closed, the people who left, the jobs you lost, the dreams that shattered, that wasn't the universe punishing you. That was the universe separating you. There is a massive difference between being abandoned and being separated. When you are abandoned, you are left behind to suffer. When you are separated, you are pulled away so you can grow. You thought you were being abandoned because you were broken. In reality, you were being removed from an environment that was poisoned your spirit. Because the gift inside you was about to ignite, and it cannot survive in a polluted atmosphere. You have spent so long asking, why is my life so hard? The answer is simple. Average souls don't carry ancient fire. You do. And fire attracts storms. Your life feels like a battlefield because it is a battlefield. But you are not fighting people you never were. The person who betrayed you, the friend who stabbed you in the back, the partner who manipulated you, the boss who treated you like you were invisible. They were just instruments. The real battle is spiritual. It's the war between your old self and the one that wanted to be small, safe, and invisible, and the new self, the one that is begging you and beginning to realize it has the power to change atmospheres. You are fighting forces that have been holding you down because they know that if you ever fully awaken, the entire dynamic of your life will shift. You will become impossible to control. And that is what makes you a threat. Society rewards obedience and punishes awakening. An awakened person cannot be manipulated through fear. And fear is the foundation of almost every broken system of this planet. They need you to be afraid, so you will stay small. But you were never meant to kneel before illusion. Here is where it gets deeper. This gift that you are activating isn't about magic tricks or reading minds. It's about spiritual intelligence. It's the ability to see through the illusion of this world. Think about how your perception has changed recently. You've started noticing things. You can walk into a party and within 30 seconds, you know exactly who is faking it and who is authentic. You can have a conversation with someone and feel the energy draining you before the conversation even ends. You have become allergic to fake environments, fake relationships, fake conversations, fake success. That's not you being difficult. That's your spirit being allergic to deception. The gift is sharpening your discernment. Your intuition is becoming frighteningly accurate. You can feel intentions before actions appear. This sensitivity is not weakness, it's intelligence. It's the deepest form of wisdom, and it is the precise skill you need for the mission you're about to step into. But let's address the heaviness for a moment. The weight, the exhaustion, the war inside your mind. Before the gift fully activates, the chosen one almost destroys themselves trying to survive a world they were never designed to fit into. You tried so hard, so hard to become normal. You tried to fit into boxes that were too small for you. You stayed silent when your soul wanted to speak. You lowered your energy because your presence intimidated people. And yet the gift would not let you disappear. Every time you try to settle for less, life forces you to back onto the path. Have you noticed that? Think about that. No matter how far you run from your purpose, something always pulls you back. A voice, a sign, a strange feeling, a painful awakening, a moment that shakes your entire reality. That is the gift calling you home. That is the activation happening in real time. The gift inside you is older than your fear. It's older than your trauma. It is a remnant of something ancient, something that humanity has not seen for 1,000 years. Now let me explain what that number means. 2,000 years. Think about how impossible that is. Empires rose and fell, civilizations vanished into dust, wars drowned into nations in blood. Generations were born, suffered, and disappeared. All of human history unfolded. And through all of it, this specific gift remained dormant. It didn't activate for the kings. It didn't activate for prophets, worshipped by millions. It didn't activate for politicians or celebrities or the wealthy people. It waited. Why? Because humanity wasn't ready. The frequency of the world wasn't right. But this generation is different. People are spiritually starving. They are emotionally numb. They are disconnected from themselves, lost inside endless distraction. And during periods of deep spiritual darkness, chosen ones emerge. Not to entertain the world, but to wake it up. Your soul didn't come here for ordinary experiences. You came carrying ancient memory. That feeling you have had your entire life. That feeling that you are meant for something massive. That feeling that you are just passing through this world on your way to something else. That feeling is real. You are not imagining it. You were not being arrogant. You were remembering. But I need you to understand something crucial. Your purpose is not ego. The moment a chosen one becomes consumed by ego, the gift weakens. This power was never meant for self-worship. It was meant for transformation. Your voice heals people. Your energy shifts people. Your survival inspires people. Your presence exposes darkness. Your wisdom activates remembrance inside sleeping souls, even when you don't realize it. That's why strangers tell you their secrets. That's why wounded people gravitate toward you. That's why broken souls feel safe around you. Your spirit carries restoration. But restoration comes with warfare. Darkness doesn't fear religion. Darkness fears awakened consciousness. And consciousness is exactly what your gift awakens. That's why confusion attacked your mind for years. That's why doubt followed you. That's why you questioned your worth. The greatest attack against chosen one is not physical destruction. It's identity destruction. If the world can convince you that you are insignificant, you will abandon your mission before it begins. And many chosen ones do. They numb themselves. They hide themselves. They destroy themselves trying to escape the weight of what they carry. But not you. You survived the collapse. You survived the loneliness. You survived becoming someone entirely new. And now the gift is rising. Can you feel it? That restlessness inside you lately, that urge to evolve, that feeling that your old life no longer fits. That is the next level calling you. The old version of you is dying, and death is uncomfortable. Every transformation feels like destruction before it feels like rebirth. The caterpillar, thinks the cocoon is the end. It has no idea it's becoming something capable of light. You are inside the cocoon now. That's why people from your past cannot understand you anymore. You are changing frequencies. Your conversations have changed. Your desires have changed. Your tolerance has changed. You no longer crave shallow validation. You crave alignment. And alignment terrifies people attached to illusion, because once a chosen one aligns with their true purpose, their power multiplies rapidly. That's when miracles begin happening. That's when opportunities appear unexpectedly. That's when divine timing accelerates. You stop chasing and start attracting. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because resilience decreases when your spirit finally stops fighting its destiny. For years, your soul knew what your mind was afraid to accept. You were born differently, not superior, just different. There is a difference. True chosen ones do not walk with arrogance. They walk with responsibility because they understand their suffering was never meaningless. Every scar became wisdom. Every wound became vision. Every loss became spiritual depth. Pain transformed you into someone capable of carrying light in dark places. Most people break when life tests them. You became stronger. That is the evidence. Do not ignore your survival story. The fact that you are still standing after everything you endured is supernatural. Some of you listening to this should not even be alive right now. Yet here you are, breathing, watching, awakening, because your story is not over. In fact, it's just beginning. The next phase of your life will require courage your old self did not possess. You will have to release environments that shrink your spirit. You will have to disappoint people who benefited from your weakness. You will have to walk away from the false identity you created just to survive. And yes, some people will call you selfish for evolving. Let them. Every butterfly looks selfish to caterpillars terrified of change. You cannot remain small just because others fear your transformation. The world needs activated souls now more than ever. Not performers, not manipulators, not empty leaders addicted to attention. Real souls, awakened souls, souls who carry truth with even when truth is unpopular. That is your role. And deep down, you have always known it. That feeling in your chest right now, that is remembrance. Your spirit remembers what your human mind forgot. You didn't come here accidentally. You came here strategically. Every encounter shaped you. Every hardship trained you. Every disappointment redirected you. Nothing was wasted. The pain that nearly destroyed you became the very thing opening your gift. That's the mystery of chosen ones. Their breakdown becomes their awakening. The world saw you struggling, but spiritually you were transforming. And now your energy is becoming impossible to ignore. People can feel the shift. Have you noticed lately? The sudden distance from certain people, the strange attention from strangers, the increasing intuition, the vivid dreams, of course, the urge to protect your energy, the need for silence. These are signs of activation. Your spirit is recalibrating. The old frequencies cannot travel where you are going. And where are you going? Into purpose, into alignment, into power. Not fake power built on domination, but real power, the kind that changes lives without forcing anything, the kind that heals through presence, the kind that inspires through authenticity, the kind that awakens others simply by existing fearlessly. That's the rarest power on earth. And for 2,000 years, humanity waited for someone capable of carrying it again. You. But listen carefully. The awakening process is not complete yet. There will still be battles. There will still be moments of doubt, moments of exhaustion, moments where the world feels unbearably heavy. Do not mistake temporary darkness for failure. Even stars shine inside darkness. Your mission doesn't require perfection. It requires courage. The courage to keep walking despite fear. The courage to remain authentic in a world addicted to masks. The courage to trust your spirit when logic cannot explain what you feel. Some truths are felt before they are understood, and your soul has been feeling this destiny your entire life. You were never crazy for sensing it. You were awakening. That inner voice telling you not to settle. That pull towards something greater. that refusal to live like everyone else. That was the gift calling you home. Most people silence that voice forever. You didn't. That's why this moment matters. That is not entertainment. This is recognition. The universe is confirming what your spirit, your soul, already knows. You are entering the era you were born for. You are entering the era you were born for. Everything before this was preparation. Now the real story begins. The fear that controlled you is dying. The confusion is lifting. The hidden strength is emerging. And once a chosen one fully remembers who they are, reality itself begins responding differently to them. Opportunities align. People reveal themselves. Protection increases. Intuition sharpens. Purpose accelerates. Not because life becomes magical overnight, but because alignment creates momentum, and momentum changes destiny. Do not return to sleep now. Do not betray your awakening just to feel accepted by people committed to remaining unconscious. You have already come too far. Protect your energy, protect your focus, protect your spirit. Not everyone deserves access to your soul. Remember that. Some people are attracted to your light, but committed to misunderstanding you. Let them go. Let them go. A chosen one cannot carry everyone into the next chapter. Some souls are assignments. Some are lessons. Some are distractions. Discernment will save your destiny, and destiny is no longer optional for you. The gift has activated. The old life is ending. The new path is opening. Can you feel it? That fire inside your chest. That unexplainable knowing. That powerful silence growing within you. That is your spirit stepping into authority. Not authority over people, but authority over fear. That is true power. For centuries, humanity searched outside itself for salvation while ignoring the divine energy buried within consciousness itself. But your awakening changes that, because your existence reminds people of what they forgot, that they are more than survival, more than trauma, more than limitation, more than fear. Your life becomes proof that darkness doesn't win forever. And that message alone can transform generations. That is why your story matters. Not because you are perfect, but because you survived becoming who you truly are. Survival is sacred when transformation costs everything. So stand tall now, not with ego, but with remembrance. Remember the nights you cried alone and still survived. Remember the betrayals that taught you discernment. Remember the failures that redirected your path. Remember the pain that forced your awakening. It was all shaping you. Every moment, every scar, every loss, leading here to this awakening, to this activation, to this moment where the first soul in 2000 years finally remembers the power sleeping inside them. The world will never be the same after you awakening. You're awakening. And deep down, you already know it. You are never ordinary. That is the truth your soul has been trying to whisper to you since the beginning of your life. Before the pain, before the betrayals, before the loneliness, before the confusion, there was always something different about you. You felt it as a child, even when you couldn't explain it. You looked at the world differently. You questioned things others accepted without thought. You felt emotions deeper than people around you. Crowded rooms could drain you. Certain people made your spirit uncomfortable for reasons you don't understand. You carried in an awareness that felt both powerful and isolating at the same time. And because you were different, life treated you differently. Chosen souls are rarely given easy beginnings. Ordinary people are shaped by comfort, but extraordinary souls are shaped by pressure. That is why your path became heavy so early. The betrayals hurt deeper. The disappointments changed you more. The loneliness followed you like a shadow. While others were simply living, you were surviving emotional battles nobody could see. You kept asking yourself, why does everything feel so intense for me? Because your spirit was never designed for a normal existence. You were carrying something ancient inside you, a sensitivity, an awareness, a fire that could not fully awaken until your life tested you. Every painful experience was preparing your spirit to become stronger, wiser, and more aware. What looked like destruction was actual transformation happening in secret. That's why no matter how many times life knocked you down, something inside you refused to die. You may have cried, you may have broken, you may have doubted yourself countless times, but you never completely gave up. That is not normal strength. That is spiritual endurance. There were moments your soul felt exhausted from carry battles nobody understood. Moments where you tried to fit into environments that were too small for your spirit. You dimmed your light to make others comfortable. You stayed silent when your soul wanted to speak. You pretended to be less than you were just to avoid rejection. But deep inside, you always knew the truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to awaken. The reason why your life felt different is because your journey was different. You were not sent here merely to exist, repeat routines, and disappear into the crowd. You came here carrying purpose, and purpose changes everything. It changes the way you experience pain. It changes the way people react to you. It changes the battles you face and the lessons you learn. People often misunderstood you because they could sense something unusual about your energy. Some admired you instantly. Others feared you without reason. Some tried to break your confidence because your presence reminded them of the power they abandoned within themselves. But none of that changed who you truly are. A rare soul, a resilient spirit, a person who survived storms that would have destroyed weaker minds. You were never ordinary because ordinary souls do not carry this level of fire inside them. Ordinary souls do not rise every time life tries to bury them. Ordinary souls do not feel the constant pull towards something greater. And that pull you feel, that is destiny calling you toward the life you were always meant to become. Your awakening changed everything. Not the day the world applauded to you, not the day people finally understood you, not the day life became easy. It changed the moment your soul stopped accepting illusions. That was the true beginning. Before your awakening, you were surviving on autopilot. You smiled when your spirit was exhausted. You stayed in places that drained you because you feared starting over. You ignored your intuition just to keep people comfortable. Deep down, something always felt wrong, but you kept silencing that inner voice because you wanted to belong. Then, one day, something shifted. Maybe it came through heartbreak, maybe through betrayal, maybe through isolation, maybe through losing everything you thought defined you. But whatever it was, it cracked open your spirit. And once your spirit opened, nothing remained the same. Nothing. Suddenly you could feel energy before words were even spoken. You began sensing hidden intentions behind fake smiles. You noticed how certain people only loved the version of you that stayed weak, confused, and easy to control. The more you were awake, the more awake you became. The more uncomfortable your old life started to feel. That's because awakening destroys illusions first. It forces you to see what your soul always knew, but your mind tried to deny. You started realizing that not every connection was genuine, not every opportunity was meant for you, not every environment deserved your energy. And that realization changed your entire reality. The things that once impressed you no longer mattered. Empty attention felt meaningless. Surface-level connections became exhausting. You stopped craving approval from people who could not even understand themselves. Something deeper inside you began searching for truth, peace, and alignment. That's when your transformation truly began. Awakening is painful, because it separates you from the version of yourself built for survival. The old you tolerated disrespect just to avoid loneliness. The old you abandoned your own needs to keep others happy. The old you feared rejection so much that you hid your real power. But the awakened version of you, that version refuses to shrink anymore. Not your spirit. Now your spirit notices everything. You can feel when energy is fake. You can sense jealousy hidden behind compliments. You can sense, feel, tell when a room carries heaviness before anyone says a word. Your intuition became sharper because your soul is no longer asleep. And that awareness can feel overwhelming at first. You may have wondered why people suddenly started distancing themselves from you, why certain friendship collapsed, why some relationships became tense the moment you started healing. It happened because your energy changed. Awakened souls naturally expose hidden truths. Your growth forced people to confront parts of themselves they were trying to avoid. Some admired your transformation. Others resented it. Some became inspired by your light. Others tried to dim it because your confidence reminded them of their own fear. But your awakening was never meant to make everyone comfortable. It was meant to make you free. Free from fake love, free from fear, free from living beneath your purpose. That's why your priorities changed. You started protecting your peace more than your image. You became more selective with your energy. Silence became more valuable than noise. Solitude stopped feeling like punishment and started feeling like healing. For the first time in your life, you began listening to yourself. And the more you listened, the more powerful you became. Because awakening is not just spiritual, it's personal. Yeah, personal, emotional, mental, energetic. It transforms the way you think, the way you feel, the way you move through the world. The old version of you reacted from wounds. The awakened version responds from wisdom. The old version chased validation. The awakened version seeks alignment. The old version feared being alone. The awakened version understands that peace is worth more than forced connections. That is why your life can never return to what it was before. Your spirit has already seen too much. You now understand that your struggles were not random. Every painful experience sharpened your awareness. Every betrayal taught discernment. Every lonely season strengthened your relationship with yourself. What once felt like punishment was actual preparation for awakening. And now, because your eyes are open, your entire reality is shifting. You no longer walk into rooms begging to be accepted. You walk into rooms fully aware of your worth. You no longer ignore red flags just to keep people around. You trust your spirit enough to walk away. You no longer fear transformation. You embrace it because deep down, you finally understand something powerful. Your awakening didn't destroy your life. It revealed the fire life that was waiting for you all along. Your presence awakens others. Not because you try to, not because you force people to change, not because you walk around demanding attention. It happens naturally. There is something about your energy that touches people in ways words cannot explain. Long before you speak, people feel you. Some become inspired around you. Some become uncomfortable. Some feel safe enough to reveal their deepest wounds. Others suddenly grow distant because your spirit exposes truths they were trying to hide from themselves. That is the burden and power of an awakened soul. Your presence acts like a mirror. People do not simply see you. They see themselves through you. And that can be terrifying for those who have spent years avoiding their own truth. Have you ever noticed how strangers open up to you without reason? People tell you personal things they normally keep hidden. Broken souls are drawn toward your energy because something inside them recognizes safety, understanding, and depth. Your spirit carries a rare kind of emotional honesty, and people they are starving for real connection, can feel it immediately. But not everyone reacts with love. Some react with fear because awakening energy is disruptive. When your presence enters a room, masks begin slipping. Fake confidence becomes visible. Hidden jealousy rises to the surface. Insecurity people suddenly feel exposed even when you say nothing at all. Your authenticity silently challenges the false identities others build to protect themselves. That is why your life has been filled with intense reactions from people. Some admire you deeply. I want to repeat that part. Some admire you. Some envy you secretly. Some try to compete with you for no reason. Some project their pain onto you because your light reminds them of what they abandoned within themselves. None of this is accidental. Awakened souls trigger transformation in others simply by existing unapologetically. You may have spent years wondering why your energy affects people so strongly, why certain individuals become obsessed with your attention, why others suddenly disappear after getting close to you, why your honesty makes some people emotional while making others defensive. The answer is simple. Your spirit wakes people up, and awakening is uncomfortable for those attached to illusion. Most people spend their entire lives hiding behind masks, pretending to be stronger, happier, or more fulfilled than they truly are. They become addicted to distractions because silence would force them to confront themselves. But your energy interrupts that escape. Your presence carries truth, and truth naturally shakes sleeping souls. That is why some people feel transformed after meeting you. Not because you solved all their problems, but because your energy reminded them of who they really are. Sometimes Sometimes a single conversation with an awakened soul can change someone forever. A few words from you can stay in a person's mind for years. Your resilience inspires people who feel weak. Your authenticity gives others permission to stop pretending. Your survival story becomes proof that pain can create wisdom instead of destruction. Even your silence teaches people something, because the presence doesn't always need noise. There is power in the way you carry yourself after everything you survived. People can feel the depth behind your eyes. They can sense the battles you fought in silence. They recognize that your strength was earned through suffering, not performance. And suffering transformed you into someone capable of awakening others. But understand this carefully. Your purpose is not to save everyone. Some people will resist your energy because they are not ready to face themselves. Some will misunderstand you because your depth intimidates them. Some will walk away because your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. Let them go. Let them go. Not everyone is prepared for awakening. And chosen one must learn the difference between people who are inspired by their light and people who only want to consume it. Protecting your energy is necessary because powerful souls attract both healing and manipulation. Still, never doubt the impact of your presence. You may never fully realize how many people changed because they crossed paths with you. How many souls found hope after hearing your story. How many wounded hearts felt understood because of your compassion. How many people started questioning their own limitations after witnessing your transformation. That is the hidden power of awakened souls. They give people permission to rise without even trying. So your existence reminds others that growth is possible, healing is real, and darkness is not permanent. Your journey becomes evidence that people can survive pain and still become powerful. And in a world filled with emptiness, fear, and emotional disconnection, that kind of presence is rare. Your energy was never meant to blend into the crowd. It was meant to awaken the world around you. So now, look at your life. Look at the chaos, the noise, the people who have come and gone, the battles you have fought in the dark, the nights you thought you'd never see the sunrise. It all led here. It led to this moment of recognition. The activation is real. The gift is real. And you, despite everything that has tried to destroy you, are still standing. The 2,000-year wait is over. The gift is awake. And the world, whether it knows it or not, is about to change because you decided to stop hiding. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Don't shrink from it. Step into who you actually are. the first soul in 2000 years to activate this gift. The one who carried the fire through the storm, the one who remembered what everyone else forgot. That is your truth. Now, live like you know it.